A puppy. Chloe says the dog Arlene sold her had parvo.
All right, Miss Hodges, you purchased a puppy from Miss Chandler. It was a
Doberman, ma'am.
How old?
She was almost 8 weeks.
Purchased her when?
On October 10th, 2014.
And you have a written contract?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is what happened. We're not going to belabor this. You have a clear contract.
Yes, ma'am.
And your contract says that the dog, at the time of the transfer, is in good health to the best of the knowledge of the breeder. And if within 48 hours of the date of the transfer, the purchaser has taken the dog, will result in an exchange for a new puppy of the same value. No veterinary expenses will be paid or reimbursed by Arlene Chandler.
Yes.
That's your contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you took the dog to the vet on what date?
On October 12th.
Do you have a vet report?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Okay, this says this illness, and how many puppies were in the litter?
4.
Did any of the other puppies have parvo?
No, they did not, and I have my veterinarian records where they were tested. I waited 2 weeks to have them tested because they had a parvo shot the day that she picked the puppy up, and they would have still had live parvo antigens in their system on Sunday when they had the parvo snap test.
Did you explain that to her?
Yes, I did.
When she called?
Yes, but the veterinarian clinic had no other choice but to go with it because if they...
Well, it tested positive.
And she changed the dog food.
It doesn't matter to me.
Here's the test results of the other litter mates.
I'd like to see
and a
the
letter
results
from my
of the other litter
veterinarian.
mates.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is this your first dog? The other litter mates were affected with the parvovirus, which in all probability they would have, not just a reaction to the parvo shot that you said she gave your dog.
Our vet assured us
No, just a second. Your vet can't assure you anything unless your vet is here.
Okay.
But this is the problem. You have a written contract. First of all, what you're asking for is the cost of the puppy. But you have the puppy. And you like the puppy.
She refused to...
Just a second. You have the puppy.
I do.
You like the puppy.
I do.
That's what you said here.
Yes.
You said you already became attached to it because she told you. Can I see what she wants to give me? Because she's not going to put it down.
I offered to...
She never told me that at all.
Let's see. You say here you did not want another puppy.
Because whenever I took the puppy to the vet, I called her on the phone. On the phone call, she told me that she was going to get those puppies tested. She never proved to me that the other puppies...
Here, they're right here.
Right, but she never said that on the phone, so I had to put the puppy that was sick into the hospital.
Your contract specifically states she is not responsible for any vet bills.
But it also says that she was going to give us a new puppy. She never gave us a new puppy, nor did she prove to us that with proof that the other puppies didn't have anything.
They don't. Here it is. Here's the proof. Now you're in court. So she's not going to return your money because you have the puppy. And it's possible that the puppy... No, she wouldn't have.
She had parvo.
No, madam. She says she did not. And she said, listen to me, don't look confused.
My vet, I have proof that she has parvo.
No, you don't.
My vet has it right there, and coccidia.
I read what your vet said. If your dog had parvo, so would all the other dogs in the litter.
That's not entirely true.
Well, this is entirely true. You have a contract. You have a puppy that you like. You chose to take the puppy to the vet. Your vet tested the puppy.
That wasn't the first thing that we did.
I'm reading your vet's report.
We changed your vet. Got her on Friday.
I'm reading your vet's report. Your vet's report says they changed the puppy food. They were
because she wasn't eating. Because she didn't have an appetite. She was sick and lethargic.
Is this your first dog? Is this your first dog?
This is my first puppy.
Well, when puppies are all together in a litter and they start to eat and they put out the bowls, all the puppies go around the bowls and they fight with each other for the bowls as soon as you get your puppy home because they're no longer with their litter mates and it's a traumatic event. They've had a long car ride. How many hours?
It was 4.
4 hours. And they're no longer with their mother. And they're no longer with their litter mates. Well, they're not going to be happy about eating. They're not going to be happy about drinking. They're not going to be...
For 2 days?
For 2 days, okay. Yes, for 2 days. Hard for me to understand. First, it's hard for me to understand, Mr. Conkle, your claim. It's all about a car and the sale of a car. You sold the car to Mr. Hill. For how much?
$3,000.
And when was that?
In the summer of 2012.
What kind of car was it?
2002 Dodge Durango.
And he was supposed to pay you out in payments.
Yes.
Now, according to you, he paid everything except $600.
Correct. Also the repair bill.
No. Forget repair.
Okay.
He owed $600 on the car. You repossessed the car.
He also owed a balance of a repair bill that we had agreed to put onto the balance of the vehicle that was damaged while he had it in his possession.
When and for what amount did he agree to pay for the repair?
$895 in the summer of 2012.
And he never paid you the $895 to fix the car?
Correct.
Did you agree to pay him $895 to fix the car?
To fix the transfer case for $500.
Okay, so actually the car additional $500, according to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay him that $500?
No, once the truck was paid off, then the title was signed over to me, and I owed him for the $500.
Okay, now, when did you pay the truck off?
June 28th of 2012 is when the title was transferred to me.
Can I see that?
Yes, you can.
And I noticed both halves of the titles is not there.
What?
Both halves of the title are not there. There was still a balance owed on it, and if the other half of the title would be there, there was a lien that was added to the back of the title.
Show me. Don't try to talk faster than me.
Okay.
He paid off the car.
No.
Oh, I believe he paid off the car. What I believe he didn't do, did you register the car in your name?
No, I didn't.
That's the problem.
Your Honor,
That's what this case is all about.
Your Honor, he never once did he pay off the vehicle. The reason that we had put a lien on the back of the title was for us to be able to repossess it.
Show me. Doesn't matter, actually, because I think your lawsuit is ridiculous, Mr. Conkle.
In the summer...
Listen, because you sold him the car for $3,000. According to you, he paid everything but $600 towards the balance of the car. He also, according to you, owed a small balance for work that you performed on the car. And now you're suing him for $4,000, which is $1,000 more than you originally sold him the car for 2 years ago. So that's a ridiculous lawsuit. You could have sued him for the $600 he owed on the car. That would have been fair. If he owed $600, according to you, on the car, that would have been reasonable. Instead, you repossessed a car that he had practically, according to you, paid off.
3 times we filed him with the police department also, and he had still never paid it off.
Listen to me carefully. When, for the first time, did you sue him?
By repossessing the vehicle and doing a repossession title, we didn't need to sue him.
No, that's not suing him, sir. That's not suing him. When, for the first time, did you go down to small claims court, take out a summons, and serve him?
There was no way to sue him when the collateral asset was recovered.
Well, what are you suing him for now?
Damages to the vehicle.
It's not happening. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Which is practically the entire balance of the car. You repossessed the car, and now you're suing him for $4,000 for a car that you sold him 2 years ago for $1,000 less.
He got pulled over. He got pulled over in this vehicle 26 times while he failed to register it out of our name.
Just a second. That's the problem, you see, because I think that's what made you mad. Because what you didn't do, sir, is, let's say I believe you, that you paid off the car, because I think his whole lawsuit is ridiculous, except for this point. If I believe you that you got title to the car free and clear in 2012, and you didn't register the car and take it out of the plaintiff's name, he remained responsible for all the tickets that you got on the car, right?
That is correct.
He remained responsible for all the times that the car was in impound, so you don't get any help from me.
Okay.
Because you know you did the wrong thing. Why didn't you be clear?
Yes, I did.
But you didn't register it, thereby exposing the plaintiff to liability, because they could seize his driver's license, they could attach his house, they could do all of those things. Because I don't know why I didn't judge Judy.
Which they attempted to do on 5 different occasions.
Just a second. I'm not talking to you. If you had a reasonable lawsuit, I would be more
There's
amenable to talking to
$3,000
you.
of the damage to the vehicle after we recovered it.
I don't care, sir. Listen to me very carefully.
There's a hit and run, there's a drive-off.
If he paid you the $600, then you would have taken the lien off the car.
If he paid me the $600, then he'd still have the vehicle.
Just a second, that's right. You're not entitled to $4,000, Mr. Kunkel. I don't know what. Now we're talking. Show me the parking tickets. Show me all the violations on the car that you paid on this Durango. Listen to me carefully. Don't tell me about anything other than what I'm asking you for. I want to see what you paid on all the violations. Don't say anything, Bird. He's going to show you. Don't give me anything that's not relevant to the question I just posed.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so first we have $42. Whether you paid it or didn't pay it, it doesn't make any difference. The car is still registered to you, so if you didn't pay it, you're going to have to. And these are all parking fees. So far I have $42 and $20.
There's 5 or 4 different parking tickets there on 4 different dates. One of them was waived because I was able to provide proof that the vehicle was...
$132 for these two.
Correct.
Okay, that you are absolutely entitled to. You're also entitled to the money that he owes you to fix the car, because after he fixed the car, that was in 2012, you drove it, right?
Yes, I did.
Why didn't you pay him the $500?
I didn't have the $500, so we had an
didn't have it.
agreement.
Now then we're resolving all of this, so that's $500.
But I paid him $300, and he gave me a receipt.
Can I see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Here you are.
Well, this says payment on vehicle.
Yeah, I paid him $300 a month.
In 2012.
Yes.
I don't know what this is for.
That's the new damages when they got in the hit and run the last time I repossessed it. There's $3,000 worth of damages to this vehicle after I repossessed it from his girlfriend getting in a hit and run.
I don't care.
$3,000 worth of damages to a
Cochran,
vehicle.
listen to me.
I can't recover my money.
I don't care.
I absolutely can't recover my money from a vehicle they totaled out.
Because
Are you not
resold
following
it.
me? I don't know what you're not understanding. I'm going to try to explain it to you one more time, and then I'm throwing you out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You can't take back a car.
Former family friend Dante Hill owes for parking tickets, tow fees, repo fees, and damages to an SUV he was selling him. Dante is countersuing for the return of the vehicle.
Now, he paid you $2,400 for a car. The entire purchase price was $3,000. If you repossess the car, you can sue him for the balance. If you scrap the car, back a car from him because you say he owes you money on it, and then refurbish it to new, and then resell it to somebody else and expect him to pay for the refurbishing. That, Mr. Kunkel, is ridiculous. And if you don't see that, and I've already explained it to you twice, I have other cases today, and it's sushi for lunch. So I'm not bothering with you anymore. Now, he acknowledges, and I'm telling him, that he owes you for the parking tickets. And he also didn't pay to have the car repaired the first time. That was in 2012. He said he didn't have the money. That's $632.
It doesn't even cover the original bill.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $632. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You defamed his character on the internet. Kimberly says Goel sold her a poorly made ring. She is countersuing for the cost of the ring and shipping fees.
Mr. Tautazan, how do you advertise your business?
I'm currently on eBay, I sell on Amazon, and I have my own website.
So on the internet?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So you don't have a store?
No, ma'am.
You get customers by advertising your product out there on the World Wide Web, right?
Yes.
Now, this is your complaint. You're in the jewelry business. You advertise your jewelry on the web. You sold a ring to the defendant. She was unhappy with the ring, and she posted negative comments. Where would you like her to say that she's dissatisfied? You want her to take an ad out in the New York Times? Where would you like? I'm just curious. We'll get to the facts of it in a minute. But if you're out there and your business is out there drawing customers in, how do you suggest? I mean, you wouldn't mind if somebody said, I got a great product to be as it was promised, it was delivered on time, and I'm totally satisfied. Would you like that?
Yes.
What are you complaining about? She wasn't satisfied. Can I see what she wrote?
Sure. I have a copy of
Why don't you
Rip-Off
read
Alert.
to me what she wrote let's take some facts that are given. You may not agree with them. You made a ring for her. She got the ring. She wasn't satisfied, and she posted the following about her dissatisfaction on the internet. She paid you for the ring, right?
Correct.
Good. Now let me hear what she wrote. You read it.
She wrote, Goatala Diamonds, Universal, and is not quality product. Chipped stones, uneven set diamonds, and poor casting. Looks horrible.
Is that the way it looked to you? That was her opinion.
Yes.
What's wrong with it is that it wasn't horrible and chipped.
Just
and
a second. No,
broken.
listen to me. She thought it was horrible. That's her perception, just as somebody would write, I loved the ring. I thought it was wonderfully constructed. She thought it was horribly constructed. She looked at, and she wanted her money back because she said it was shoddy construction. And you refused to send her money back. Is that true?
Correct.
There you go. She's allowed to criticize your product. You advertise your product on the internet. You throw yourself open to be criticized on the internet. It's not vicious. Each other. If she made something up, if she said, I got this diamond ring and it was horribly constructed and the owner of the company has an incurable communicable disease, that you can sue her for. Do you understand?
Yes.
What she's criticizing you for, but done for some other motive, you know. You ran over her dog, and then she decided to attack you on the internet, even though the product was perfect. But there's nothing like that exists here, right? You don't know her. From a hole in the wall, she found your product on the internet, bought it. Do you understand where I'm going?
Yes.
Great. Now I have a counterclaim, so I've resolved your claim. Now I have a counterclaim, and your counterclaim is you want no science, I can't spell, diamonds I know. Okay. Well, now I'm going to tell you, it doesn't look bad to me. So now I want you to tell me, what don't you like about it?
The diamonds are not the quality of diamonds that are on the appraisal. It was taken to my jeweler.
Just a second. Is it GIA certified diamonds that are supposed to be on your, or these CZs?
No, those are certified diamonds, and they came with an appraisal from the company.
Well, you know. Did they say exactly what each diamond was, or was it VSS? I never heard of Universal Diamond Report or Joel Gala Diamond. There are two nationally recognized appraisers of diamonds. You know who they are?
Yes, ma'am.
What are they?
GIA and EGL.
Right. This is neither one of those. So if you wanted an accurate idea of what you...
They were the quality, and they were clear, and they were the quality that he had stated on the auction.
Terrific. The ring doesn't look bad to me, because this is your counterclaim.
Yes, it has cracks in the, if you look at the casting, there's places where there's gold missing, and the diamonds are set unevenly. Some of them are even like, they're not flush like an eternity band should be.
Usually happens when it's involved in a tragedy.
I have one. You know, I have one. I sort of know. You see, the reason I wouldn't buy this at an auction, and if I were going to spend almost $5,000 for a ring, I would go into a place and it's annoying, right? Is it annoying on you?
Yes, the diamonds are not set properly.
No, it's not that they're not set properly. It's that there's too much metal around it. So mine doesn't have that because I tried it on. I went in, I tried it on. I said, you know what? This is the casting I like. This is comfortable for me. There were a lot of ones just like this. Put it on, there's a lot more metal. A lot more metal makes it look more substantial. But it bothers you. It's annoying because you feel it around the room.
It was possibly going to be taking the room, yes.
Room in her home?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw this room on the internet?
Craigslist.
When?
This was August 13th. I saw the posting. August 14th, the next day, is when I emailed her. We emailed back and forth, and then I saw the room.
Did you like it?
I liked the room, yes. It was close to work.
Great. What was the agreed upon rent?
She wanted $700 deposit.
What was the agreed upon rent?
$700 deposit, $700 for the room, so $1,400.
And you said?
And so when I went to see her, I looked at the room, liked it.
No, you told me that you liked it.
Right.
Did you agree to take it?
Right. She pressured me into giving her...
Did you agree to take it, is my question. The answer is yes, because you gave her money. You weren't giving her money as a gift. You gave her money.
Yes.
To take the room.
Yes.
And was that on August 14th?
First, but
So it was a lease to start September 1st?
Yes.
And this was an oral lease, or was it in writing?
There was money given back, the rest of it $880 cash.
You're getting ahead of yourself, Mr. Garcia.
There was no agreement signed.
So what I said to you was, did you have a written lease, or was this an oral agreement?
There was oral. There was nothing written.
Fine. So you gave her a $400 check.
Yes.
And when was the next time you saw Miss Bellotti?
That was Monday of the following of the
880. And Miss Bellotti, after he gave you the 880, what did you do with regard to the ad on Craigslist?
I took the ad down.
On what date?
On the following day. And I would believe that would be the 18th I took it down.
Okay. Now, on what date were you supposed to move in?
I was supposed to move in by the 1st, but we had text back and forth that she was going to give me 2 weeks free. And then she backtracked to 1 week free because she needed to get the other lady out and the room cleaned.
So when you say 1 week free, she was going to let you move in prior to September 1st?
Yes.
On what date was she going to allow you to move in? And this was her gift to you?
This was the week of August 17th when I gave her the cash.
Oh, fine. And when was the other person moving out? I told him he could move in a little early.
I told him when the room got cleaned up that I was going to give him 2 weeks free from the middle of the month to the beginning of September.
Okay. So this is what the case is about. You changed your mind. You no longer want home, and you want your money back, the money that you gave her.
Right.
And?
She made me uncomfortable on the day that I saw her, too. She was telling me that she dated men my age. First time I met her, dated men my age, 28, 29, made me very uncomfortable, set a red flag. When I left that day after I gave her the check, a hug and a kiss on the cheek. That was kind of the most, that was the...
Made you uncomfortable?
It made me uncomfortable, yes.
So the very next thing that you did was send her another check for $880.
It was cash.
The $400 was
Yes,
check.
it was a money's worth of tips that I made.
You gave her $880 in cash?
Yes.
Fine. And?
And so I gave it to her. That was money that I'd made over the weekend.
When did you tell her that you no longer wanted to rent
the room? The 25th of August.
Under what theory do you think you can get your money back?
We met to sign the agreement that day on the 25th. I told her I didn't feel comfortable. I had my brother's wedding come in. A lot of stuff was going on. She said, sleep on it. Let me know tomorrow. I texted her saying I was going to stay. She puts on the text message that I have that she is giving me that $1,280 back and that she was going to look for other people. She even tells me she has people looking, 3 people.
Oh, I'd like to see it where she says to you she's going to give it back to you. Unless she agreed to give you your money back, you're not entitled to this money back.
Right. But
you had an agreement with her, and she took her ad down from Craigslist.
She did not.
Couldn't rent the room. Even if she didn't, she couldn't rent the room because she had already taken your money, so she couldn't rent the room for September. And if she couldn't rent the room in September, based upon your change of heart, she's not required to give you back your security and rent deposit.
I understand.
Well, actually, that's not true. She is required to give you back your security. Minimally, the security. How much was the rent? 700?
It was 700, yes.
700. So minimally, you're responsible to give him back his security. Did you give him back his security?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Exactly what happened, Judge Judy.
I don't care. Well, basically,
I didn't give it back to him. I didn't give it back to him.
Because?
Because he did not let me know he was not moving in 2 days prior.
That doesn't matter. Listen to me carefully. He could lose his rent for the month because you're out the rent. But then you have a whole other month, that whole month of September, to rent it for October. So you haven't lost anything, and the new tenant in October will give you security deposit. But why you think you would be entitled to retain his security deposit is something that I'm missing.
Well, there's a lot. All of your money back. Let me, over the holiday, see if I can get it rented. And I have it in text for you so that you can have all of your money back, because it puts me in a really tough position to get it rented. It was September 2nd, and I put the ad up, and I couldn't get it rented, and we went back and forth. And
security deposit I'm talking about. Why didn't you send him his security deposit?
Because I didn't know until that day that he was not going to move in.
Right.
Or
now we have
that doesn't pay the
damages.
Rent.
That's what security deposit is for. Damages, not rent. He hadn't moved in, so we couldn't cause any damage. So I could understand, as in for what we call it as liquidated damages. Your damages are you lost a month's rent, but you didn't lose any security deposit. You didn't have any damage that you had to repair. So why didn't you send him back his security deposit? You have no reason.
May I speak?
No.
Okay.
Would you please show me what she said? Gabe, you may be in luck. I think I have a girl that might want it, and I'll keep you posted.
Yes.
Is that what you want me to see?
No. There was, I thought it was on tab number 8 that she had mentioned that. I know it is on there.
She rented it.
5 days.
If she rented it. You're entitled to your security deposit back, sir. But you're not entitled to the rent back. She couldn't rent the apartment when you decided to have a change of heart 5 days before you were supposed to move in. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even 5 days, because according to you, she told you you could move in early without paying sometime the week of the 17th. So on the 25th of August, you could have been in the apartment. Right? And she was holding the apartment because you had given her money. So you were absolutely entitled to your $700 back, but not the $700 for rent for the month of September.
67 Chevy Impala.
Oh, this is about an almost 60-year-old used car. So you buy a 60-year-old car online. That would be your first clue that maybe you shouldn't do that. But at 60 years old, it's probably a car that you were hankering for a long time. Now, you actually had a family issue that you were going from one state to another. While you were in the other, you were going to stop by and pick up this car that you were sort of making a not direct route. It was a family funeral. Is that what it was?
That is correct. And then
okay. So while you were going to the funeral, you were going to stop by and pick up the car. Ms. Johnson, you appear to be a relatively intelligent person, right?
Yes.
So you buy a 60-year-old car online. 60-year-old Chevy. But it's a beautiful-looking car. But, you know, I mean, it's a 60-year-old car. Things start to go wrong when you're 50. You just ask Bird over here. He'll tell you. Things go a little bit wrong. You know, same things happen with a car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So, Bird, let me read you what this says.
Okay. Adrian and Mary Maldonado scammed her on the sale of a 67 Chevy Impala.
So you bought this car online. Can I see the ad? Actually, thank God for those things. Been keeping this program in business. Okay. So, Bird, let me read you what this says.
Okay.
Selling a 1967 Chevy Impala. Serious inquiries. Bumpers are off due to rechroming, but are complete. Which I don't quite understand, because if you chromed the bumpers and you were selling the car, it would seem to me people are going to come look at it. You would put the bumpers back on the car rather than have the bumpers off the car. That just would be a selling point if the bumpers were on the car.
Right.
He did put them on the car. I'm sorry.
Right.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
But I wouldn't even put it in here.
I know.
It said the bumpers are off the car. I re-chromed the bumpers, grill, corners, and light covers, and they are just sitting in the garage. Okay? N booster brake cylinder. And this is a must-see for $7,000. Mm-hmm. Okay? And by the way, in big block letters, the rims are not included. So you answer this, and you know. You buy a used car as is, no guarantees, no nothing. So I want you to tell me, after you read this, you contact him by email or on phone?
Via phone.
Okay, and you have a conversation with him. Tell me about the conversation.
I explained to him that I was going to my mother's funeral and that this was a car I had wanted for a long time, and that what I really would like to do, if it is in drivable condition, drive it back from Texas.
Some sort of assurance that this 60-year-old car would make the trip from Texas to Minnesota. My geography is so bad. How many miles is that?
It's about 1,300 miles.
That's a lot of miles.
Yes.
It's not like going to the grocery store, which is what most people do with an antique car. Go to the grocery store, you know, take it and hang out, and let other people look at it, go to shows. So he says, no question, car can do that, right? So you make the trip there.
Yes.
You get there, the car's not running.
That's correct.
He says he needs some money to get the car in running condition.
Correct.
So you give him how much money?
I gave him $500 in advance towards the car itself because he promised that is what it would take to get it ready to drive to Minnesota.
Okay, so he was giving you the car for $7,000.
Yes. I said, this is toward the $500 towards the car. I have the checks for you. And then he started changing things. So I said, but I also need to make sure it's up and running and bring it to the actual gentleman who needs to look at the car. He wouldn't let me do that. I admit I was thinking with emotions and heart.
You were thinking,
and not
listen to
smart.
me. What I'm telling you is from a legal perspective. If you came to terms on the price of the car, which was $7,000.
Yes, that is
accurate. And you gave him $500.
That is correct.
Which is what you want
him
back from him. You gave him $500 because he said, I can get the car right.
I apologize.
Doesn't matter. That's what it is. Purchase the car. You gave him the $500
yes.
towards the purchase price. You were coming to pick up the car. Bottom line was you did not pick up the car because
he kept saying next day and next day would be ready, and he promised for days on end. And I
how many days?
It ended up being at least a week or more,
well,
where he knew I had to fly home.
Give me
and
the
that
day.
Shh. I'm sorry.
Give me the date you arrived in Texas to see the car?
The 27th, I believe. And
Not I believe. I want you to make very certain to me.
Okay.
What was the date that you arrived to see the car?
Oh, the 25th. 25th, that's correct. Right there.
Of April.
Of April.
April 25th. So on the 25th, you saw the car.
Yes.
You loved the car. He said, I need $500 to get it running.
Teaga for a loan.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 2060, Baron versus Arteaga.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Barone, case is not a very difficult one. You met Mr. Arteaga?
Arteaga.
Take your hands out of your pockets. At a bar?
Yes.
When?
Back in June of 2021?
Did you ever live together?
No.
You always maintained your own residence and he his?
Yes, the apartment I owned was always underneath my name.
But he never lived there?
No.
Good.
If I'm not mistaken, May.
May of what year?
May of 2021.
Was it a new car?
Yes.
Give me a rough number. How much was it?
Out the door, 72,000.
And what color did you order?
Black.
This is what and because of whatever strange reason, you wanted the car wrapped. Now, I think most people know what that means, and I think I know what that means. That means you take a perfectly good car and you put a different finish on it. Is that what it means?
Yes.
You buy a car that has a nice shiny finish and looks clean, and then you put something on it that, I don't know, looks like it's been sitting out under a volcano.
I guess you could say that.
What?
I guess you could say that.
I just said I read $3,800.
No, it's $3,950.
How much?
$3,950.
And you had some of that money, but you gave him, transferred to him, $1,800 on your credit card.
Yeah, so it was an agreement made between...
No, I didn't ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't...
Made the payment for him.
You made the payment for him on a credit card?
Yes.
And according to you, your arrangement was that he would pay you back monthly $100.
Correct.
You don't dispute that.
She offered.
Yeah, she offered. And you did, in fact, on 3 separate months, pay her back $100.
Yes.
And that means that in your view, it was a loan.
Well, it was more of a gift.
Well, then why would you pay her back $100 a month, Mr. Arteaga?
Because our finances are much different. She is a paint protection film, so I'm more...
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You're not answering my question. You're doing a dance around my question. If it was a gift to you, this $1,800 towards the wrap for your car, why did you pay her back $300? Have the Tesla?
I still do.
Yes. You making payments on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. What kind of work do you do?
I'm an electrical superintendent.
Expensive car.
Indeed it is.
You're a single guy?
Yes.
That's what single guys do with their money. Tell me why you stopped paying her back, Mr. Arteaga.
Things got sour very quick.
So things got sour with the relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And is that when you stopped paying her?
Yes.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500 is what he owes you for the balance of the loan. Thank you. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
We broke up. It was a nasty break out of pettiness at the end of the day.
Because she caused a lot of rift.
I'm just not going to loan out money to just anyone from here on out.
I'm glad it's over.
And I'm really happy I get my $1,500 back.
Give a boyfriend money and expect to ever see it again. You will never see it again. It gets messy, it gets entangled, and we see it time and time again. So it's just hits even harder at home.
Have you noticed, Sarah, that it's probably 80-20 that women give money to boyfriends?
At least what we've seen here, yes.
You know, and if this is a microcosm of the world, and I don't know what that is, I haven't been able to figure it out. I've been doing this kind of business for 30 years. Car. And says, hey, babe, I'm short $1,800. Well, if you're short $1,800, buy a cheaper car.
Yeah.
You know, there are cars that cost less than $72,000. Anyway.
But women should be smarter and not agree to do that.
They ought to make mandatory watching these cases.
Tracked.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case number 2030, Gordon versus Jackson Smith.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Gordon, you're a wedding planner.
Yes.
You called her to plan a wedding that you were having in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Is your husband?
Yes.
The wedding was scheduled for what date?
April 30th of 22.
Your lawsuit against the defendants is for the balance of a fee that you say is due and owing to you. Ms. Jackson and Mr. Smith are counterclaiming for a whole bunch of things. They said that not only didn't they get everything that they paid for, that you selected the venue, and they were ejected from the venue because they weren't allowed to have a wedding there or serve liquor. So what was your fee that you quoted the defendants, and how much of that fee did they pay?
My fee for planning the wedding was $4,000.
And that $4,000, was that fee reduced to a contract?
Yes, it was.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Ms. Jackson, this your first wedding?
Yes.
And yours?
Yes.
Okay, your total fee was $4,000, a deposit of $2,000. Did they give you a deposit?
Yes.
Okay, so they signed an agreement to pay you $4,000. How much did they pay you in total?
In total, for our planning fee, they paid...
No, in total, how much did they pay your company?
$2,000.
$2,000.
Correct. So how our company is set up is we're set up as an affordable payment plan for a wedding. So we set up our clients on a payment plan. So they also pay the expenses of all of their wedding through us.
So you have to send them an invoice for what it was that you spent for the vendors.
Correct.
Okay.
And then also the default of that contract states that if they miss payments, they have breached the contract.
That's why we're here. Each of you is accusing the other of breaching this agreement. You say that they didn't finish paying you what they owed you, and they say you didn't furnish the services to them that they signed up for the wedding. They gave you $2,000, and the wedding was supposed to be held where?
The banquet hall.
Did you send them a deposit?
No, because at that time she had not paid enough money.
Just a second. The answer is no. You had not sent them a deposit.
No.
Had they sent you the deposit of $2,000?
They sent me the deposit for our planning fee, yes.
I'm talking about for your planning fee, $2,000.
Yes.
And how much was the deposit for?
50% of $16,000, which was $8,000.
And where is the invoice for that you sent them?
I don't have that invoice because she was not able to secure the venue.
I read it. And from what I read in your complaint, the original venue that you secured, according to you, was rendered unavailable.
That venue because she could not keep up with the payments and did not submit money for a deposit. The second venue was the R&R Event Center. That venue she lost because a pipe broke in the venue.
Okay, just a second. R&R
Event Center.
And when was that taken?
That was booked on March 11th, 2022. And I do have the invoice for that.
And how much was it?
$2,250.
Okay, that's much better than $8,000. Okay. Did she put in a deposit?
Deposit was made from the monthly payments that she makes towards her wedding.
Show me invoices that you sent her every month.
Yes, I have that.
Well, I'd like to see them.
This is the statement of the account. It lists all the invoices that she was sent on a monthly basis.
So she paid you the $20,000 that was invoiced.
Her wedding cost a total of $23,600.
No, that's not what I said. Opening balance was zero. Invoice $20,451.57. That's the budget, right? Paid $19,356.57. That's what this says. Uncross your arms.
Correct. No, that's
okay.
That's
so
correct.
She paid for everything. Now.
No, she didn't pay for everything because, as I just stated, her wedding cost a total of $23,651.
Let's go back to, because I see that we're not getting anywhere. Before her wedding, before anything happened, before she said, I do, and before he says, I take you, she paid practically $20,000, which was your original estimate and her budget for the wedding. There's a second. That's either a yes or a no. Before the wedding, your original budget that you were given by the defendant, I read the papers, was $20,000.
So, and as
that's either a yes, I read the papers, or a no.
Yes, that is the budget she stated she would like to stay around. But however, in planning a wedding, you cannot give an exact of how it's going to cost.
I didn't say that. I didn't. Madam, pay careful attention to me. I've made 16 weddings. I've had 16 event planners. I know exactly how it works, and I know exactly that you can't always predict to the $100 or $50 or sometimes $500 how much more the wedding is going to cost. It never costs less. That's not what I said to you. I said by the time the wedding took place, she had paid the vast majority of the original amount that she said she wanted to spend for the wedding. And that is accurate. She said she wanted, just a second. So the answer is no. That's what she wanted to spend, exclusive of your fee.
Correct.
Now, of your fee, she gave you an initial deposit, or they did, of $2,000.
So
that's either a yes or a no. She gave you $2,000. Did she ever pay you the other $2,000 for the fee? And the rest of the expenses that you want are the additional expenses over and above the $20,000 that, stop shaking your head, over and above what she originally said she wanted to spend.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to get to what happened just about a week before the wedding.
Okay.
You had booked a place. She had paid for the place, $2,250.
Yes.
And that was at R&R. According to you, something happened at R&R. Stop shaking your head. It's annoying. Something happened at R&R. What happened at R&R and when?
Correct. The wedding was scheduled to happen on April 30th.
Tell me what happened at R&R.
I was informed by Rico, the owner, sitting on that side, that a pipe had busted and the venue would no longer be available for usage on her wedding date.
And on what date was that?
It was around the week before her wedding, or 2 weeks before her wedding, sorry.
Date?
I don't have the exact date.
You own, manage, or what, this R&R?
I'm the owner of R&R Events Center.
Okay, tell me your last name, sir.
Cox, C-O-X.
Do you remember having a conversation with the plaintiff about the venue?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember when it was?
March 25th of 2022.
Can you tell me what you said to her and what she said to you?
We had a conversation. I'm like, hey, problem with my venue. I had a pipe that busted. I won't be able to host their wedding. Well, the reception, I should say. So I informed her I can put her in contact with other venues that I may know, or I could send her back the deposit. She asked for the deposit back. I sent the deposit back probably within the hour.
How much was the deposit? $2,250?
No, ma'am.
How much was it?
$1,125, which was half.
So 50%?
Yes, ma'am.
So you sent her back the deposit?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive the deposit, Miss Gordon?
Yes, I did.
The wedding wasn't until April 30th. So you had plenty of time. Well, not plenty of time. You had time to look for a new venue, or else they were going to have to change the date.
Correct, and they found
it. Shh. What venue, you can sit down, Mr. Cox, thank you very much. What venue did you select? And had you ever used them before?
No, I had not. I never worked with a challenge budget like this for a venue.
If you don't like the budget, don't take the gig.
Yeah, I won't.
And that's where the reception was held. But that venue was not allowed to have this kind of party.
I was not aware of that until the day of the wedding.
That's your problem.
The entire time. The wedding was not closed until after the wedding had already ended. So they used the venue regardless.
Okay. Miss Gordon, it's your job as the event planner, which is what I don't understand you being here. It's your job as the event planner. They don't live in Las Vegas. That's your job to ensure that the place that you select is a venue that's capable of performing the duties that you outlined in your contract, which means they serve food, they're allowed to serve liquor, they're allowed to dance, they're allowed to host an event of how many people?
It was supposed to be 120, but all of my guests didn't get their invitation. So.
Okay, so over 100 people.
Your Honor, it wasn't that they were not allowed to have the wedding there. They were allowed to have the wedding there. What they were not allowed to do was the business was not allowed to operate after a certain time, and that is what the business owner produced to us.
Just a second. You want to show me a contract that she signed with that business owner? Miss Gordon?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I would like to see the contract that you signed with this business owner. Sarah, just for my own information, would you look up this venue, please? Tell me what you find.
Sure.
Miss Gordon, this space was a little less money than the previous space that you had selected.
Correct.
$500, $700?
Yes, and that's because they were not providing all of the things that the original event place was providing.
Was this event space that you booked at the end of the evening, I don't want to use the word raided, closed by the police? That's either a yes. Did the police arrive at this venue?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And what time did the police arrive at the venue?
They arrived at 9:30.
Is there a police report that anyone has?
No.
And how many parties have you done where police arrived at the end of an evening or during the course of an evening in the 2 years that you've been in Las Vegas?
Never.
And the police arrived at this wedding not because anybody was creating a disturbance, there weren't shots fired.
Well, no, that is why.
Wedding planner Tara Gordon claims her former clients, Beatrice Jackson and Nicholas Smith, owe for the balance of their wedding. Beatrice and Nicholas are countersuing for breach of contract.
Okay, police arrived at this wedding not because anybody was creating a disturbance, there weren't shots fired.
Well, no, that is why. They initially had a report because
I don't know that reason.
Because she can attest to the altercation that took place prior, which is why we were even brought up on the radar, because the other businesses in the vicinity of where the business takes place had complained. There was a lot of altercation back and forth outside of the event because she refused to sign the agreed upon payment plan to continue payments after the wedding.
You understand that I'm not particularly sympathetic.
I'm not.
I'm letting you know I'm not particularly sympathetic for the following reason.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody plans a wedding and has a budget of $20,000 plus your fee. So that's, say, $25,000 that they either put together or are saving up for a wedding, first for each. A week before the wedding, something happens with the venue, where the wedding could not be held at the venue of their choice. They're relying on an out-of-state wedding planner, that's you, to find a legitimate venue that is licensed to have an event. When they get to Las Vegas on the date of the wedding, you present them with a new contract.
No, that is not true.
When did you
have it incorrect?
Just a second. When did you give them? Because you said that the problem, which caused the police to come. Just a second. I don't understand.
Before I selected the very last venue, she was on FaceTime with me, looking at the venue with me, because I informed her I've never worked with this venue. I don't know anything about the venue. I told her that the best thing for her is to postpone her wedding. She was already behind in payments. This is her third venue.
Just a second, she paid you almost the entire $20,000.
She paid it in March. In March.
Doesn't matter. She paid you almost the entire
30 days before her wedding. That's what you're not hearing.
I'm not looking at you. Before her wedding, she paid you almost the entire amount of the $20,000 that she originally gave you as a budget before the wedding.
If you look at the contract, it says that you're going to make monthly payments so that we can adequately plan your wedding. You booked me back in 2021, almost a year before your wedding. The wedding was to be planned over the course of that year. The initial venue that I have worked with that I know is reputable, she ended up not paying the deposit on time, so they had to move forward with another date. After that, I didn't get any payments from her until March when she got her tax return. And then at that time, I was forced with less than 60 days to try to find another venue, in which I did, which was our event space. And then a pipe busted in that event space. And then I was forced to find another venue for her. I told her back in January, the top of the year, you need to postpone your wedding. Before invitations went out, before of all of that, when she was having troubles with her payment plan, I advised her as a professional, I think.
Cross your arms. You're the expert. You're trying to talk over me? You're trying to talk over me?
No, I'm not.
Good. So you're the expert. She's out of town. The reason that she selects a wedding planner in Las Vegas is because you're supposed to know whether or not the venue that you recommend is able to take care of the party you book. You may say to her, you may say to her, I don't know anything about the venue, but that's your job. You're supposed to know about the venue.
When I told her in the first place that she needed to postpone her wedding, that was my professional advice.
No, that's not what she hired you for, to tell you to postpone her wedding. She hired you to plan her wedding, not to give her advice whether or not. You're trying to talk over me. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. You have to understand there are certain things that you did. Okay. You got out the invitations. That's a great thing. I assume you got a DJ. That's great. All of those things. The wedding itself, to me, was problematic. If my wedding ended with the police coming to the venue, and it turned out that the venue was one where you weren't allowed to have that kind of an event, I would be annoyed at the wedding.
They were allowed to have a wedding.
No, they weren't. The police officer.
The contract clearly states that.
I don't care what it states.
That's not what the police officer said.
And you know because you have a police
I don't
report,
care what
you
it
spoke to them? No,
I don't
you
care what it
reported
states. You started to tell me before that the reason the police came there is because there was an altercation about you giving her another contract on that date, and there were words outside, and people were complaining, other people who were in the air.
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
The night before her wedding, I explained to her.
I want to know what's happened on the date of the wedding. Just a second.
Can you let me finish so I can articulate?
I want you to go because I have a limited amount of time and I'm getting very old. I thought what you said to me, and you're going to read this back, is that the reason the police were drawn to the venue is because of the arguments outside.
Correct.
Let's read that
That's
back.
what I just said.
That was on the date of the wedding.
Correct.
You got married, and you're happy, and you had people at the wedding.
Got a free wedding.
And you
$20,000.
You're almost done. Do you understand? You're almost finished. Go ahead.
We were brought up on the radar because the other businesses in the vicinity where the event took place had complained. There was a lot of altercation back and forth outside of the event because she didn't agree to sign the payment plan.
Okay. So the reason that was because there were altercations about this second contract.
No, that's not the contract we were having an altercation about. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Oh, just a second. On the day of the wedding, Miss Gordon, did you present her with a new contract to sign? That's either a yes or a no.
I did, but not for the venue. That's
It's not for the venue. I didn't say it was for the venue.
Yes.
On the day of her wedding, did you present her with a new contract? The answer is yes.
Yes.
You said you had discussed that with her the night before?
Correct.
And uncross.
Oh, sorry.
And the night before, did she agree to sign?
Yes, she
Just a
did.
second. A new contract?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And the new contract provided for what?
The new contract that she was supposed to sign
provided for what?
Provided for the remainder balance of the $23,681 that her wedding actually cost. Because she had only paid $19,000. You have the sheet, so I don't have the exact number.
$19,356.57.
Correct. So since she had only paid that amount and the total expenses for her wedding were $23,681. So the night before, she agreed to make a payment plan with me to extend her payments beyond her wedding date to pay off this remaining balance.
And is that what she agreed to on the phone? Is that what you're saying to me?
Correct.
She agreed with you on...
She
agreed on the phone to pay you the additional $3,500 or $4,000, and she agreed to pay it over time.
Correct.
And that was Friday night.
Correct.
And then she got to the wedding.
Correct.
And at what point did you present her with the new contract? At what point in the event?
Upon her arrival to the reception venue.
Now, what happened when you got to the reception venue? You'd already gotten through the ceremony, so you're already married. What time did you get to reception?
So the reception was supposed to start at 5. It was supposed to start at 5, but when we got there, she wasn't even done decorating. All of my family stayed outside for another hour, including my grandmother, my grandpa. We waited in cars. Okay.
Said it was supposed to start at 5.
At 5.
This venue that I have here someplace, you have it?
I think it was supposed to start at 5:30 and end at 10:30 per the contract.
Okay. Thank you. Was it supposed to start at 5:30?
Yes.
What happened at 5:30, Miss Gordon?
I presented her with the contract, and then she refused to sign it. Her guests were waiting outside because she was refusing to sign it. When she refused to sign it, because our agreement was she was going to sign the agreement before we started the reception. When she said that she did not want to start the reception, I responded and I said, we will pack all of this up and my staff and I will leave because now we're not being paid for our services.
What time did the police arrive? I spent $20,000 for a wedding, and my evening ended by the police having my guests leave. Furious.
Wedding planner Tara Gordon has accused her former clients, Beatrice Jackson and Nicholas Smith, of refusing to pay the remaining wedding balance. Beatrice and Nicholas claim Tara booked an illegal venue for their reception.
So, what time did the police arrive?
The police arrived at 9:30.
And did the police tell everyone to leave?
Yes, they did.
And told everyone that they had to leave?
They arrived and they told me that everyone had to leave.
Whether they told you or whether they told them.
Yes.
They said the place had to be clear.
Correct.
And that was an hour before the termination of the event.
So at the end of the event was...
The event was supposed to end at 10:30. Police arrived at 9:30. That's according to you. That's an hour short of the event time she was supposed to have at the venue.
No, the event was supposed to end at 9:30. This is her timeline of events that was supposed to take place.
This is the contract.
That's the time that I have the venue too. I have to clean up. The agreed upon timeline is here. The wedding was supposed to end at 9:30, giving me an hour to clean up.
I'll take a look at what you have. I'm just telling you that this is the signed contract.
That's signed between me and the venue because they were giving me an extra hour to clean up.
That doesn't say that in here.
Because I booked it for a timeline. I booked it from 5:30 to 10:30. I outlined everything that takes place. It ended at the last song of the night was at 9:30. And she went through the last song. We made it through the last song of the night on time.
Could I take a look at that?
I just can't wait till it's my turn.
Well, the last song of the night was supposed to start at 9:30.
Yes, and it started earlier because we made it through and she was done dancing. And by the time the police came, it was just mingling and dancing going on. So she had made it through her entire wedding reception is what I'm trying to state.
Yes, Mr. Cox.
Please.
Hey, Your Honor, I'm back. That's not true. The police actually came at 9 o'clock and...
Were you there?
I was the DJ.
You were the DJ?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
That didn't get paid.
Don't.
Oh, he got
Don't.
paid. He got paid.
Speak. So the police arrived at 9 o'clock.
That's correct.
And what happened when they arrived, Mr. Cox?
So
by the way, did you know them before the wedding?
No, ma'am.
Did you know? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. She booked your services.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were your services for the night?
My DJing services were $500.
Were you paid?
No, ma'am.
What happened when the police arrived?
The police came, asked everyone to leave.
Do you know anything about this venue space where the wedding took place?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about it.
It's a storefront.
So are a lot of venues in Las Vegas.
Your case is dismissed. Do you understand? This is not a free-for-all. As far as I'm concerned, you got almost exactly what her budget called for. And I have one vendor that wasn't paid.
Because she didn't pay. It's clear.
Well, how do I know that you paid the other vendors? At least I know one vendor that you didn't pay. And she paid almost $20,000.
They got paid because... Okay.
I have two things. I have one vendor that's here that wasn't paid. You were paid almost $20,000. The balance, part of it, is for your fee. Part of it is
my
for...
fee was not...
Are you saying that part of this money that you're suing for, this $4,000, was not part of your fee?
The $4,000 that I'm suing for is part of my fee.
Of course, that's what I said. So part of that money was for your fee, and part of it was for vendors. I have one vendor here who says he wasn't paid.
Well, I have receipts from other vendors if you like to see.
No, I know you had a lot of vendors, but you didn't pay him. He's the only
I didn't pay him
body.
because she didn't pay me. It's clear. She didn't pay me enough money to pay her venue. I have here proof of how much every item in her wedding cost, which exceeded the $19,000 that she paid. Clearly, she owes more money. That's the facts of the matter. She owes more money to
She's
what her wedding cost.
She's countersuing you for ruining her wedding because you booked it at a venue that wasn't allowed to have a wedding. She's got a counterclaim for far more than your claim. Bottom line is, she picked a wedding planner, she picked a venue, she tacitly approved this change of venue. Both of you had to at the last minute, but you did that relying on the wedding planner to find a venue that was capable to hold the event. And it wasn't. It wasn't. That's your job. Your job is to find an appropriate place so that the police don't raid a wedding a half hour before it's over. That's not the way a wedding is supposed to end. So what I want you to tell me is you're suing her for $4,300. How much of that $4,300 is your fee?
$2,000.
And you didn't pay him?
No.
So that's 24 minus 500. You didn't pay him because you have to pay him.
I paid him.
Part of it was to pay him.
I'm deducting it.
Okay.
I'm not paying you for your fee. You booked the wrong space for your fee. So far, I have $18.25. Other than the DJ, who else didn't you pay? Mr. Cox, could you stand up, please? You seem to want to tell me something, and since you didn't know either one of these parties, I'm going to let you tell me. Do you know any other vendor other than you who wasn't paid?
The bartender also was not paid.
Bartender.
That's correct.
Which is his wife.
That's correct.
I don't care if it was his wife or not, it was the bartender.
Right, but what I'm saying was the bar was included.
How much were you supposed to pay the bartender?
The bar and the bartender came with him. He offered to do the bar and to DJ because his pipe busted. So what I'm saying is, he said, I'll bring my bar and I'll do a cash bar, meaning
that's because a bar you can't have for $500. So
right,
we'll do
but he
a
was
cash
doing
bar.
Correct.
Did you do a cash bar?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. So you made some money off the cash bar?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, of course. Got it. Now you can sit. So what you paid him was $500 for both.
And $150 for the bar.
$650 total.
That's what he charged them outside of the wedding.
This is a very easy case for me. You were paid almost $20,000.
I wasn't paid anything. I was paid $2,000.
And I would feel doubly furious if on the day of my wedding, as a new bride of an hour, the event planner said to me, you can't go in unless you sign this contract modifying our first contract.
The contract was not to modify.
Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Okay.
This court is adjourned.
So you counterclaim.
There are some things that I realized that, I could have done better.
Basically, 10 days before the wedding, add additional $4,000 on top of $20,000.
That never happened.
It was just her way of just trying to come up on more money, in my opinion.
At the end of the day, she had got her wedding.
I'm actually sometimes surprised at professionals like this woman, who is an event planner, has a reputation. She was almost fully compensated for this event. And the wedding was, if it were my wedding, I would say, it's ruined by having a police shut it down. We had a wedding a month ago. What would you think if the police showed?
You would not be happy if you paid any amount of money to a professional and had that happen. I really thought it was outrageous.
The whole thing was just tacky, waiting outside the venue when she got there from the ceremony, and before she could go in, she had to sign the contract. That's really not what you do as a professional.
Bad business.
Bad business.
Business.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge. Case number 212, Duenas versus Cho.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Duenas, it looks to me from your papers that you decided to go into a business with someone.
Yes.
With whom?
With the defendant, Brian Chow.
And you know him how?
He's a family friend.
And you know what his business is?
Yes.
What is his business?
He currently sells reticulated pythons, snakes, exotic animals, monitors, lizards.
And you like those things?
My ex-boyfriend did.
Did you?
I was more for the investment part.
Okay.
I was the investor at the time.
At the time you reached out to this family friend who was in the exotic snake business, your idea was to create a business.
No, Your Honor. It was actually the defendant's idea.
I don't care whose idea it was. Your idea was to create a business with your ex-boyfriend.
I agreed to the business, but it wasn't our idea.
Whether you agreed to the business or not, you invested money in the business.
Yes.
Which means that unless there's something wrong with you, and I see that there is not, you wanted to go into business with the defendant.
Yes.
So let's be easy.
Okay.
And at the time that you wanted to go into business with the defendant, I'll get to what the nature of that business was in a second. I know it had something to do with that wonderful-looking snake. You had a boyfriend.
Yes.
And the boyfriend liked snakes.
Yes.
And you went along with the ride.
Yes.
What month and year were you still with the boyfriend when you decided to go into the business, which you will explain to me?
Back in November of 2019.
So right before COVID.
Yes.
What was your boyfriend doing at the time?
He was working at an airport.
And he and Mr. Cho were friends?
Yes.
How long had you known him?
2-3 weeks, Your Honor.
Where did you meet him?
He came into my store and acquired
I didn't ask you anything. That's how you met him?
Yes.
I'm going to get through this case and get this lovely thing out of
the courtroom as quickly as I possibly can. Well, some people find them exotic and gorgeous. I find them a little bit squirmy. So in November 2019, boyfriend and you decided to go into the business. Explain the business that you invested in.
I invested on 5 reticulated pythons in his shop, and together we were going to breed them and make a profit out of them.
So the intention was never for you to take these pythons to your residence?
No.
And you understood that? No.
They're buying the snake, Your Honor.
Okay. How much were the 5 snakes?
In total, it was $10,000, plus the feeding and the cages that he claimed that the snakes needed.
Was it your agreement that for $10,000, Miss Duenas and the boyfriend were going to buy 1 male snake and 4 females?
They decided to buy 2 snakes.
Well, when was that decision made, sir?
A week after I met him, because
When you went into the shop, did you ultimately decide on 1 male, 1 female?
No, so how it is, Your Honor, is he knew my ex-boyfriend prior to the business 5 years ago. He sold him a exotic Australian monitor lizard.
Okay, what I want you to tell me is, did there come a time when the arrangement changed, so instead of 1 male and 4 females, you were supposed to get 1 male and 1 female?
No, Your Honor. The whole way it was supposed to be 1 male and 4 females.
Do you have any sort of a receipt for that?
We have Instagram conversations.
Do you have that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
One male, 4 females. The guy's asking $15,000 for all, and then he says, I'll drop it to 12. Then somebody, I don't have 12 now. I just spent a lot on my monitor. Let's go the rest. Okay, so you say, I don't have that money now. He says, I'm getting 16 lace monitors. You remember that discussion? And then that's a big investment for me right now. I'm saving up to get a house, but I'm down to breed my monitor with any of your monitors. Keep going. So far, I don't have a contract. And then somebody says, no, you pay half and I pay half. Who wrote that?
He did.
1,000. I want to get them, but I'm low on cash till next month. And that's from you. That's from the reptile.
I had to see it, Your Honor.
Okay. If I invest half with you, what will be my return and in how long? Think about it. That's will be the baby's mix price. JTK Reptiles, that's you. Somebody's on their way. That's you and your boyfriend?
Yes. We were on our way to give him the money.
And how much money were you going to give him?
We gave him the first time $6,000 and then $4,000. A total of $10,000.
You received that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what did you purchase with the $10,000?
If you look at the message from there, what she showed you is they pay half of the 5 snake. Means they get 2 of the snake, and I get 2 of the snake. They've been lying to you guys since day one. They want to purchase 2 snake. Then I told them, like, if you look at the message, I can use my male to breed it to your female. It's an investment for you guys, not for us. It's no us. It's not with them at all.
Mr. Cho, were they supposed to take possession of the snakes?
They're supposed to pick up the snake. That's why they come to the store with it.
Which snakes were they supposed to take possession of?
One right here and one out there.
Is that a male or a female?
This is the female.
Has she had babies yet?
No, I don't breed her because she don't belong to me.
And how old is she?
Right now, she should be about 6 years old, going 7.
How long do they live?
Over 30 to 40 years, depends on how you take care of them, like I take care of them.
And there's another one outside the courtroom that's the same as this one. Yes. Also a female?
Yes.
And you gave them the $10,000. He acknowledges the $10,000. So we have a verbal contract that you were going to pay for some snakes. He was going to order the snakes for you, which he did. And that was accomplished, and the payment for the snakes was done on what date, the first payment?
Approximately in November of 2019.
And when was the next $4,000 payment?
The same month, I would say like a week.
Good. And when did you order the snakes, Mr. Chow?
Right after I get Yeah, because I cannot just acquire the animal without the payment.
Okay, so now you've got the payment and you order the animals.
Yes.
On what date do they arrive?
2 days after, their FedEx delivered to my shop.
And when did you notify the plaintiff that they were there?
The day that they came, I tell them the snake.
And the boyfriend?
They arrived a week after I notify the boyfriend.
Okay. Now, Ms. Duenas, a week later you went to the shop. And what happened when you went to the shop? Now he's got $10,000 and he's got 2 snakes.
I just want to clarify, Your Honor, that we even gave him money for the tanks because here in the conversations it says that he can't continue having them in tubs. So he needs us to give him money to invest to buy the tanks to house the snakes. So our original plan was for him to keep the snakes because he has the shop. We, at the time, lived in an apartment. He was well aware of this, that we couldn't have big snakes in our apartment.
He says no, you say yes. I'm not sure how I can resolve that. I'm trying to simplify this contract.
Cassandra Duenas claims exotic pet store owner Brian Chow owes her money for a snake breeding business. Brian says Cassandra changed her mind about the business after he purchased the snakes.
Okay, part of the contract was fulfilled because you paid him. Then he ordered the snakes. Second part was fulfilled. I want you to tell me what happened when you went to see the snakes. You say to see them. He says to pick them up a week later.
So when we went to the shop,
Who
led us to
Who went?
My ex-boyfriend and I. What led us to there is because after he obtained the snakes, he was not reaching out back to us. He was
just a week later.
Yes.
You went to the shop.
Mm-hmm.
He notified you that the snakes were there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about that. Mm-hmm. Now, you went to the shop for what purpose?
Because he switched it and then he said it was 2 snakes when originally the plan was 1 male and 4 females. That 1 male was going to breed with the 4. So right out the back, he lied to us what our agreement was here, that he clearly texted us and said 4 males and 1 female. So it was 5 snakes. So we went to the shop.
Yeah, but there was a problem there with pricing in the Instagram messages, a suggestion, because some of the texts were unavailable. He said originally they were $15,000. Mm-hmm. And then there was some discussion of $12,000. And then there was some discussion of $6,000. He says he'll pay half and you pay half. And you were always supposed to give them the snakes. Why would you pay half?
Then they get the 2 of the snake and I get the 2 of the other snake. It's 5 of them. And the one that we're gonna pretty much, they can have it if they want it, or I can use it when I need it.
You mean the male?
Yes.
So that was the business. Anyway, you went there and what happened?
So I went in recording. My ex-boyfriend told me, hey, record.
Don't tell me what your ex-boyfriend told you.
Okay.
Just tell me you went in and what happened.
We went in there and we asked him, hey, we agreed on 5 snakes. Now you switched up and you said now it's 2 snakes. First you told us it was $15,000, then $12,000. You were playing games with us the whole time. And at this point, after a week later that he said that he got the snakes, then he told us it was 2 snakes. At that point, we were upset because we had planned and we had counted with 5 snakes. That's why we gave him that ridiculous amount of money. And basically, we didn't want nothing else to do with him. We wanted our money back. And that's what we went for, our money back.
Just a second. Yes. So you walked in wanting your money back?
Yes.
Do you have any text messages, Instagram messages, suggesting that before you got there, you had said to him, we changed our mind, we don't want to be in business with you, we want our money back?
No.
Nothing?
No. He wasn't reaching out. Sorry, Your Honor. He wasn't reaching out to us. He was sending him video calls. He was calling him through text message, my ex-boyfriend.
I don't care. You paid the money. He got snakes. The question is, you think there's supposed to be more than 2? He says 2. More money. So the ultimate agreement was for 2. So what happened when you went there? You're there with your boyfriend.
Yes.
And you say, I want my money back.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
I don't have the money here. I have 2 snakes here.
Are you telling me that he didn't call you and say your snakes are in? Is that what you're suggesting? Do you have an invoice for these snakes, Mr. Chow?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to see the invoice for the snakes. By the way, your boyfriend has other of these exotic creatures. Is that right?
To the people that I get them.
What kind of exotic creatures does he have?
One that he sold him, an Australian water monitor from the Philippines.
And?
He has 2 rhino iguanas, a pair. He has a, I don't know the name, but it changes colors.
Mr. Chow, transfer is August of 2018.
And those are for the lace monitor
Are these lace monitors?
Yes.
Sorry, Your Honor, these are not lace monitors. These are reticulated pythons. These are not monitors. Monitors are lizards. These are snakes.
Lace monitor bell face.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, that's not that.
No, Your Honor.
Well, these are useless.
Yes, but that's connected to the rest of what they did.
What does it have to do with these 2 snakes? What I want to see is when you purchased these 2 snakes.
Yeah, I don't have it, Your Honor.
Well, get it. What do you mean you don't have it?
I left it at home. I'm so sorry.
Well, what'd you bring these for?
Those are the time that they both got arrested when they went to my shop.
Yeah, but you now have those back, right?
Yes.
You have those back. So if you had to take documents, why didn't you take the documents for the snakes in question? The lace monitor lizards aren't in question. You have them back. They may have taken them. They were arrested and you finally got them back. So I don't understand that.
I just mistaken grabbed the wrong paper.
Well, Mr. Chow, do you deal with these people regularly, that you buy snakes from them regularly?
Not really. It depends on the size of the animal and depends what kind of animal.
Well, you have the date of purchase someplace, Mr. Chow, and I don't want you to waste my time.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's why I just said I don't have it, Your Honor.
Did they purchase that kind of snake?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
It was 5 snakes, Your Honor.
Don't give me 5. That type of snake.
Oh, yes, the reticulated python, yes.
And the one that's outside is the same, correct?
Yes.
And you did not purchase baby snakes.
No.
You wanted full-grown snakes because they were a business. You wanted them able to be... breeding. Okay. Should have brought the paperwork. And you went in there that day in November because you had changed your mind.
Yes, and on top... Yes.
Because you had changed your mind.
Yes.
That's the answer. You had changed your mind. You can give me a whole bunch of excuses, and you told him you changed your mind, you want your money back. And he said no, because I ordered the snakes, and I got them in, and they're yours. Contract is completed. I'm merely holding your property. And then there was a kerfuffle.
As well, can we have, receipt? How much did you really pay for them?
No, that's not your business. That's not your business, how much you really paid for them. He made a deal. You paid him. If he got them for $2,000 and you paid him $10,000, that's nothing. The kerfuffle, let's draw this down to its most simple English. Mm-hmm. You wanted your money back and you wanted to cancel this contract.
Yes, it's just when we arrived, those weren't the snakes that we ordered. These were the breed of it, is the ones that he was putting here on Instagram, which I have, which is not those. So we ordered something and we got something else. So
is what you're telling me, you went there to pick up your... Because now it's changed. You went there to pick up your snakes. Mm-hmm. When you got there, they turned out to be a different...
It's breed. It's like the...
Pythons, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're pythons, but it was a different kind of python. Mm-hmm. Now you're telling me because it was a different python, you wanted your money back.
Yes, because it wasn't what we paid for. It's like we paid for a Ferrari and we got a Toyota, basically. It's basically
You know nothing about pythons. So... You're taking your cues from your boyfriend because that's his strong suit. Is it yours as well?
No, I'm just the investor.
Right. So your boyfriend had a conversation with him and said, those aren't the snakes that I ordered.
Yes.
Okay. And I want my money back.
Yes.
And you said you recorded all this.
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Exotic pet store owner Brian Chow of wrongfully keeping money for a snake breeding business. Brian says he fulfilled their agreement and claims Cassandra stole property from his store.
And you said you recorded all this?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. You just press play.
Which one?
Oh, right here. And then you press that.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You guys just want to do the money back?
Yeah. The $10,180 in total, and then money on top of that for lending you the money and everything.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, because we didn't see this coming. You just kept on giving us a runaround and a runaround.
Oh, no, what?
About the mail. Remember that?
No, that's why I'm waiting for the mail to be delivered. I don't have the mail.
Yeah, but remember you had told us that the guy had it because he had to leave and he had to gut out because he has surgery and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We gave you the money right there and then. You don't understand what mission we had to go
I
through.
didn't know. I don't mind getting you guys your money back, but I don't have cash. If you want it right now, I don't have it.
We told you we want to do business correct, and you just keep on giving us another day and another day.
You told us as soon as we give you the money, the snake was going to be here.
Yeah, it's not about me, it's the guy. It's not me. I'm just buying the snake from a different guy.
And then another thing where you messed up, you said 5 snakes for $6,000, and you come at me with 4 and you wasted my money.
Yeah, and I told you that he gave me only 4 snakes, the big giant.
Yeah, and why would you waste money if I told you to get the 5 snakes?
If you worry about the last one, I can pay for it. It's a meal that we don't need.
But I have to do all this, so I have to get like this for you to do that?
No, bro.
How can I trust you now?
Bro, the 4 snake is right here.
I'm gonna go get something.
What's wrong with you, bro? I'm just asking you. Let's talk.
No, we're not gonna talk. I told you don't with me.
I don't talk with you, bro.
Dog.
Why? What's
That's
wrong?
Because we gave you a lot of money. We're talking about over $10,000, and you're just giving us the runaround. First, you told us 5 snakes.
This is what we can do. I'll take it. And when you get the money, I'll give it back. Yeah, female too.
Oh, no.
Oh, no? All right, well.
Come on, bro. You're looking at a 15 grand.
I told you don't play with me.
I don't play with you.
You don't even have the money right now.
Open them up, man.
I got the half of the money.
Open them up.
I'm trying to talk to you, bro.
No, there's no more talking because we gave you the money right here and then. That's unprofessional. You're trying to scam us, and you don't do that to people like that.
I didn't. How did I scam you?
Before I open it.
You're telling me that you don't have the money.
I have half of the money because I'm waiting for the snake. Bro, if you guys gonna get arrested.
There's no arrested. We're just getting what you took from us. Over $10,000.
I'm trying to talk to you.
$10,000.
You're gonna open it. I'm trying to talk to you.
No, we try to talk to you. You're telling us you're gonna have the money. I have everything in video.
I don't care. You can record me, bro.
Alright, so are you gonna
You
open
don't
it?
play with people's money. You can call
You owe
whoever
me
you
over
want.
$15,000.
This is 15 grand.
We don't care.
Can you call a cop, please?
No. Alright, watch out. Back away. I told you, don't play with my money.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? He owes me money.
I don't care. He owes us money. He owes us money. He owes us money.
They're gonna deal with the police.
Now I'll play that video, please. That's your boyfriend breaking into the...
Yes.
And when he broke the glass and took out whatever lizards he took out with him, where did he take them? You were still with him?
Yes, he put it in a bin.
And is that you carrying them out?
Yes, and that's the reason why I was charged with the robbery, just because I walked out with the item.
That's all right. That's fine. That's a co-conspirator. Ultimately, the lizards that you took were returned to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it seems, Mr. Chow, at the beginning of this case, I must acknowledge to you that I was sympathetic to your position, that they had ordered snakes. You ordered them. You got them.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the contract is completed. Uncross your arms.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
But it's clear from the tape that the plaintiff played for me that you acknowledged that you did not fulfill your end of the contract, that you were blaming your inability to fulfill your end of the contract on some third party. Is that what I heard in the tape? I mean, my hearing's not really acute, but that's what you said. I have no control. I can give you back half your money, but I can't give you back all your money. So the contract was not complete.
It was complete because they supposed to get only 2 snakes.
I didn't see anywhere where it says just 2 snakes. There was a whole bunch of conversation there about the male snake, and you were supposed to deliver to them the male snake. And you said, I don't have that money now, but I can get that money for you. I can give you the first money. I don't have the second money. It was clear that the contract was not complete unless you have something to show me that it was. But what I heard, it was not. That doesn't mean that Ms. Duenas has the right to break your property and to steal property that belongs to you. What they do is they come into a court and say, you have my money. The contract was not fulfilled. I want my money back. That's what you do. Are you in the business of breeding snakes for your store?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if we were to go on the internet now,
Yes, Your Honor.
how much would one of those snakes, which is 6 or 7 years old, according to you, sell for?
Right now, this size you...
For whatever reason, if you put up that snake on the internet for sale, how fast would it take you to sell it?
I still say like about a month and a half.
They're rare.
Yes.
Is that right? That's what you're saying.
It's rare and is just not a lot of people will acquire that much money.
Even though they can sell the babies. And how many babies do they have?
In a year, they can do from 30 to 50.
And each one of the 30 to 50, you can sell for $3,500.
Yes.
I suggest you do that. She gets her $10,000 back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
I'm very happy, and I'm happy that she was able to see herself that the defendant got caught multiple lies.
They're just a customer.
He wasn't truthful since the beginning. Ever since we invested.
They bought a snake. I just want to give their snake, but they don't want to take it.
And it's very sad how nowadays you can't trust in anybody.
I think one great lesson that a lot of people can take away from that is you have to know the business that you're investing in. I can appreciate she was sort of doing it for her boyfriend and he had the knowledge about the exotic animals, but that's her money at the end of the day. And if you're going to put your own hard-earned money on the line, it should be a business that you at least put in the time to learn about.
To understand.
Exactly. So that you don't have to rely on somebody else to make the right decisions.
Who's going to be gone tomorrow?
Exactly. Exactly.
And your money
who potentially could, and then you're left on your own, having to sue and navigate a field that you really know nothing about.
Smart. And it was also an example of a contract that was not fully executed.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought when I started the case that there was an offer, an acceptance, you performed, paid the money, got the snakes, and then you can't change your mind. Once you get it, you say, well, I changed my mind. But that's not what happened.
Nope.
And her video demonstrated that that's not what happened because Mr. Chow started to waft. Well, it's not my fault I don't have your mail. It's another guy, and I would give it to you, but I can't give it to you as soon as I get it, you know.
Yeah.
So he did not deliver on the contract. So I had very little compulsion other than to say, you don't have to take the snake and you get your money back.
Yeah.
Anyway, done. Yeah. And the snake is gone.
Left the building.
लाले लाले गलिया ओठ लालिया पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे रोआता से जिपे ओढ़ना बिछावाना हो अरे धाके कमरिया खेला खिलावाना हो धाके कमरिया खेला खिलावाना अरे रोआता से जिपे ओढ़ना बिछावाना हो अरे धाके कमरिया खेला खिलावाना और छाती से साटी के तकिया बितात बाटे लाले लाले गलिया ओठ लालिया पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे सोरह सिंगार हो हर तड़पेला जवानी अनुराग हो तड़पेला जवानी अनुराग हो होता बेकार काइल सोरह सिंगार हो हर तड़पेला जवानी अनुराग हो और बीपिन तोहरे प्यार से मनवा कुगत बाटे लाले लाले गलिया ओठ लालिया पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे पिया मोरे सुखत बाटे राजा मोरे सुखत बाटे